Hello! I'm actually so excited to make this video. So let's just jump into it. I mentioned this before in a vlog, but they love avocado here on pretty much anything, but specifically smashed avocado on toast for brunch. Speaking of which, they love brunch. Here they drive on the left side of the street, which means that people walk on the left side of the street. They don't flurry, they make flurries. This one I found out the hard way. I ordered a McFlurry. She put the soft serve ice cream into the bowl and then put the M&Ms on top and then just handed it to me. You can't call it a McFlurry if you don't flurry them. There are so many flies here. It's almost an epidemic. One time I was walking home and there was this guy in this really posh suit, you know, walking down the street with this little briefcase. And on his back there were something like 10 flies just hanging out, going along for the ride. They have a powder here called Milo, which is very popular. It's kind of a cocoa powder, kind of like a chocolate powder, but more healthy. This one I really like about Melbourne. They have a thing called blue tack. So at home, if you want to put posters up on walls, you use that green painter's tape. But here they use, it's kind of like a silly putty. Eating a sausage or a hot dog in a piece of bread is how it's done here. So you just fold it up, stick it in. Their minimum wage here is $18, or just under, I think it's $17.80. In the early 2000s, they had a big drought here. There's still a lot of signage around to say that you need to restrict the amount of water, and they adore their pavlova, which I now also love. They love Justin Trudeau. On the topic of loving Canadians, they also love Michael Bublé. Even though their Christmases are hot here, and they've always been hot, they still think, most people still think of a real Christmas being a white Christmas. And so they still decorate here as if it's cold. On Christmas Day, instead of celebrating Christmas dinner, most people, if they only have one meal of the day, most people have Christmas lunch. They do not eat shrimps on the barbie. This comes up all the time. Whenever I mention shrimps on the barbie, they get a little bit offended because they don't eat shrimps, they eat prawns. Because prawns are the bigger ones, shrimps are the smaller ones. I don't know if you know, but it's kind of a stereotype that Australians all bring their barbecues and cook their shrimp on the barbies for Christmas Day. That does not happen, unfortunately. They have a treat here called Maxi Bonds. And there's a little bit of a debate here whether you hold the part with the ice cream on it or you hold the part with the sandwich, the ice cream sandwich part of it. And obviously you hold the ice cream sandwich part because if you hold the ice cream it's gonna melt. They have a really good public transit system here. So they have trams, trains, and buses. And their tram service, they have a whole area where it's free in the CBD, the business district, is basically like downtown. So it's free to use the trams in that area. And the trams also go further out into the city. And with all of those services combined, they have the largest tram service in the world. And speaking of being #1 in the world, they also have more cafes and restaurants in Melbourne per capita than anywhere else in the world. They actually do eat kangaroo here. There was some poll recently that was done that Melbourne, or that Australians are the most friendly locals out of all the countries in the world. And I feel like that'd be pretty accurate. So there are 4 major streets on this side of the city. To read them from west to east, it is King, William, Queen, Elizabeth. Their banking is really advanced here. They have the tapping system like we use in Vancouver, but here it's really popular to use, as in people don't really use cash here. Checks are definitely not at all used. Everything's online, so it's common just to give someone your bank number and they'll just transfer things over online, which is so much easier. They don't have percolator coffee, you know, the ones, like Tim Hortons ones that you stick into the machine. Cafes don't serve that. And last but not least, Melbourne holds the 3rd largest contingency of Greeks in the world. After, I think it's Athens, and then another city in Greece, and then Melbourne. So I hope you liked that little video. It was really fun to learn more about the city. Obviously, I'm not an expert on these things, but it was good to just kind of learn these things from locals and my roommates and everything and people I work with. I'm sure there'll be more to add to the list as I go on, but today marks pretty much exactly halfway from my time in Melbourne, so it's been going super quickly. It's really sad, but I'm loving it here. I'm having a really good time and I'm learning a lot. So thanks for watching.